Hey guys, I'm Beth. This is Read Remark. Today we're going to talk about The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. It's kind of windy out today. I'm hoping that it's given me, instead of like the went through a wind tunnel look, it's given me the glamorous supermodel with, the glamour fan pointed towards her look. We'll see how this turns out. Maybe more of a wind tunnel look for you guys, but oh well. I'm out here, I'm filming, so let's do it. I'm really excited to talk about The Turn of the Key, Ruth Ware's latest book. Ruth Ware has really cemented herself as an author I love. She's a mystery writer who's written such books as In a Dark, Dark Wood, The Lying Game, The Death of Mrs. Westaway, The Woman in Cabin 10, etc., etc. This latest one is called The Turn of the Key. Rowan is a young nanny working in a remote house in Scotland. Very remote. It's so far out that really there are not any neighbors. It's just very isolated. She nannies 4 children, including a moody teenager, a baby, and then a troubled girl who's 8 years old who hates her. The parents are pretty absent. Just about as soon as they hire her, without really checking into her background so much, they take off for a conference. They say bye and leave her with these strange kids that she doesn't really know, and the kids with this woman who they don't really know. So it's a very uncomfortable situation for all of them, and Rowan struggles mightily because basically she has no time off. She is 24/7 on call for these kids who hate her. In fact, they even write a little picture that says, "We hate you." The home that they live in is a smart home. Everything is controlled through an app, and everything in the house is electronicized to go along with the app, and the voice controls or the button controls, including turning the lights on and off, ordering groceries through the kitchen, opening the front door. Basically, everything runs through this app called Happy to control the house. It's very disorienting, very disconcerting, because she can't really control what's going on in the house. She doesn't fully understand how to control it because it's so complicated. Nor could she if she wanted to, because she doesn't have the admin rights. And also there's the constant feeling of being watched because, well, she is. There are cameras all over the house where you can check in and listen or watch people basically everywhere, including in her own room. Strange things start happening. She comes to the house with the knowledge that there's a rumor it could be haunted. She starts to hear strange creaking in the attic during the night when she's trying to sleep. Mysterious things start appearing, disappearing, including her beloved necklace. The children talk about a ghost, and she can't seem to get answers out of anybody about what's going on. The title, The Turn of the Key, may sound somewhat familiar to you. That is because it is a very, very direct throwback to The Turn of the Screw by Henry James. Now, it's been a very long time since I've read The Turn of the Screw, but I can draw some parallels pretty easily right here for you. Both are told in a written recollection from young governesses after the fact. We already know from both accounts that they're going to end in disaster. Both feature women who are out of their element, really isolated, alone with these children in a strange, stately manner. Both of them have other household help, such as a maid or a driver or a handyman, who factor very heavily into the story. Even the problem children of both of these stories have names that are very similar, Miles and Millie. They both have absentee parents who really don't have any sort of presence or seemingly care in the children's lives, which makes the governess/nanny even more isolated in the situation. Both stories have light that factors very heavily into the story as a factor of foreshadowing and doom. Whenever candlelight extinguishes in The Turn of the Screw, we know that trouble is about to visit upon the governess. And then, likewise, in Turn of the Key, we have the same problem, albeit through the smart home. Whenever there's trouble going on, the lights are completely unreliable because the nanny can't get them to work. Rowan tries and tries through voice commands or phones or her, like the lone switches on the wall to try and get lights to turn on, and she can't sometimes because the smart home decides to glitch. How many times, for example, have you said to your phone, "Hey Siri, look up my grocery list," or something, and instead she makes a call to your grandmother? Kind of like that. Rowan is caught in a situation kind of like that. Now, there's been some talk about this story really being about the dangers of technology or about the smart home itself, where I think that I differ in that thought. I don't think that it's necessarily about the smart home per se. I think the smart home is a plot device. It's just a handy thing that's used to create these situations of unease and to create situations where you can't trust the lights coming on or off, because usually it would be just as simple as flipping on the switch. Not as simple in the smart home. And then also the constant voyeuristic feel of something is watching me, because, you know, in today's technological age, probably something or someone is watching you and listening to you. In fact, the FBI is probably listening to snippets of this conversation as we speak. Both books also feature very frustrating ambiguities in the ending. Don't want to give it away. I'm going to keep this spoiler free, I promise. But there are things that I wish had been explained more. Now I know, I have griped before about authors who go the complete opposite direction and just spoon feed all the information to you and not let our brains work any other things out for ourselves. That is very frustrating too. But when an author leaves something so ambiguous that you can't even tell what the ending is supposed to be, or these characters that you've invested yourself in so heavily throughout the story, you have no freaking clue what happens to them, it's very frustrating. Thanks a lot, Ruth Ware. So if you're like me and you want to know more and you finish the book saying, what? Google it. Google it, because Ruth Ware got the same reaction from many of her readers and wrote a letter that helps kind of explain where the story goes in the end. For me, it makes me feel so much better about it. And it makes me appreciate the remaining ambiguity that she left in there on purpose. So, good book. Originally, I was kind of dissatisfied with the ending, but feeling better about it now. Feeling much better. So, for real, non-sarcastically, thank you, Ruth Ware. Very good book. I loved it. Loved it. Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. I have read the entire Ruth Ware canon so far and fully intend to keep doing so. So let me know what you thought of it if you read it. Thank you so much for joining today, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye. It's raining too. I'm hoping I can just pull a Diana Ross and sing through the rain and just make it work. And even though she says that she has the help from make sure the camera doesn't knock over, babe, because it's so windy. Oh!